My ex lied about his wife dying. So I made sure everyone knew the truth. To love and to lose, he said, raising his glass. The room fell quiet. A toast. To his late wife. I was standing beside him, holding his hand. Tears welled in his eyes as he said her name. Mira. Gone too soon. But never forgotten. His friends sniffled. One of them whispered, "He hasn't spoken about her in years." Another leaned in and said, "You're the first woman he's trusted since she passed." I smiled, squeezed his hand, said all the right things, and then I excused myself to the restroom, walked calmly down the hallway, into the guest bedroom, where Mira was. Alive. Very much alive. Sitting on the edge of the bed, scrolling through her phone. Chewing gum like this wasn't the most deranged night of my life. She looked up. "He's doing the toast, isn't he?" I nodded. "Right on schedule," she said. I had so many questions, but none of them mattered, because I already knew the answer. He lied. About everything. The dead wife. Alive. The grieving widower act. Performance. He told me he wasn't ready to love again, that I was helping him heal. And I believed him. For 7 months. 7 months of grief, sex, and candlelit sob stories, and I just need someone who understands. 7 months of building a life with a man I thought had been shattered, when he was the one swinging the hammer the whole time. I asked Mira why she agreed to be part of the reveal. She shrugged. "He cheated on me with you, so I figured I'd return the favor." I laughed. Not because it was funny, but because everything suddenly made so much sense. And now it was my turn, because they invited me into their game. And I don't play fair. I don't make scenes. I don't scream. I expose. And tonight, I brought the receipts. I met Julian at a bookstore. I know. Sounds fake. But it wasn't. He was holding a copy of A Man Called Ove and making a face. I asked what was wrong. He said, "I don't trust books that make me cry. It's too easy." I laughed. And that was it. We talked for 45 minutes in the fiction aisle. I found out he was a music teacher. Played piano. Had a sad kind of smile. The kind that makes you want to give someone good memories. He told me he wasn't ready to date. Said he'd lost his wife 2 years ago. Cancer. Quick. "I still talk to her sometimes," he whispered. My heart cracked open. I said, "Then we can just be friends." We exchanged numbers. And somehow a week later, I was in his kitchen eating soup he made from scratch, listening to Miles Davis. We didn't kiss that night, but he cried. Told me I reminded him of what it felt like to be alive. And I thought I was part of something sacred. For weeks, it was all candlelight and vinyl records. Long talks about grief and rebirth. I told my friends he was slow and soft and special. They asked questions. "Have you seen photos of her? Has he taken you to meet anyone in his life?" I told them to be patient. "He's still healing," I said. "It's complicated." And it was. Complicated in the way liars make things. There were no pictures of her in his house. No framed memories. Just one wedding band in his nightstand drawer. I asked about it once. "Too painful," he said. "I keep the rest boxed up." So I stopped asking. One night, he left the room and his phone buzzed. It was open, and a message preview popped up. "Are you coming back tonight?" No name, just a heart emoji. When he came back, I asked who it was. He said it was his cousin. "She checks in a lot. She worries." And because I had already signed up to be the understanding one. I nodded. Let it go. But my gut, it didn't let go. It whispered, "Something's off." And I should have listened the first time. I started paying attention, not just to what Julian said, but to what he didn't. He never used her full name. Always just my wife. He never showed me old photos. Said they were too sacred. He didn't talk about how they met, or what she loved, or what she hated. Just vague lines. She was sunshine. She made everyone laugh. I'll never find that again. At first, I thought it was grief. Then I realized. It was script. One night, he got drunk. Told me I was the first person he'd trusted since her. That I made him feel human again. Then he fell asleep on the couch with his phone, unlocked in his hand. I didn't go looking. But when the screen lit up, it was there. Mira. Her name. A new message. "We still good for Friday? I'll bring the bottle you like." My breath caught. I clicked into the thread. Pages of messages. Not old. Not faded memories. Plans. Jokes. Photos of meals. Photos of her. Alive. Smiling. Wearing a sweatshirt I'd seen in his laundry. I didn't scream. I didn't throw the phone. I just sat there, staring at the glowing screen while he snored peacefully behind me. That was the gut punch. Not the cheating. Not even the lie. It was the performance. The tears. The heartbreak monologues. The "I'm not ready to love again" speech while planning weekend trips with his wife. His very much alive wife. I took screenshots, emailed them to myself, then closed the phone, and went to bed. Not beside him. In the guest room, where I cried once. Just once. And then I started planning. Because when you lie that boldly, you forget that someone might love the truth just as loudly. And I was going to make sure he heard it. I didn't text her right away. I wasn't sure what to say. "Hi, I've been dating your husband. Did you know he told everyone you were dead?" There's no script for that kind of conversation. But 3 days later, I opened Instagram. Searched her name. Found her. Mira Jameson. Interior designer. Loved color. Had a laugh in every photo. And a husband who only smiled like that in private. I created a burner account. Messaged her. "Hi, this might sound insane, but I need to talk to you about Julian. Privately. Woman to woman." She read it. Didn't reply. For a week. Then one night she wrote back. "Meet me at Hudson Cafe. Tomorrow. Noon." I didn't sleep. When I walked in, she was already there. Black coffee. No makeup. Calm. She looked up. "You're prettier than I thought you'd be." I blinked. "I didn't know about you." She smiled. "I believe you. He's good at lies that sound like wounds." We compared calendars. Messages. Photos. Turns out the night he broke down in my arms, he was texting her under the dinner table. The weekend he told me he was visiting his therapist in Vermont. Spa trip. With Mira. "I left him once," she said. "He cried so hard I thought he might actually change. He didn't. And now you." She tilted her head. "You're the first one who found me. The others just disappeared." That stopped me. "There were others?" She nodded. "Ife met tu. One left a necklace in our bathroom." I sat back. Stared out the window. "So why stay?" I asked. She shrugged. "Because the lie is easier than the embarrassment. Until it's not." "And you? What do you want out of this?" I didn't pause. "I want him to feel the weight of every lie he built. All at once." She stirred her coffee. "Then we do it together." "We." She smiled. "He wrote us both into the same story. Let's write the ending ourselves." We picked a Thursday. Julian's favorite night for business dinners. Mira invited him to a charity gala. Black tie. Fancy rooftop hotel. She said she got 2 invites last minute. "Wear the navy suit. You know, the one I love." He responded within minutes. "Wouldn't miss it for the world." He had no idea I'd be there. I bought a dress I knew he'd notice. Not flashy. Just bold enough to sting. Mira handled the guest list. 3 of his colleagues. 2 of his ex-girlfriends. And 1 woman he ghosted after telling her he wasn't ready to love again. It was a room filled with loose ends, all waiting to knot. The event started at 7. At 7:12 he walked in. Smiling. Arm around Mira. Then he saw me. He stopped mid-step. What is this?" Mira smiled. "A tribute. To you." A video started playing on the projector behind us. A montage. Photos. Text messages. Audio clips of his sob stories, the ones he recycled for each of us like monologues. Then, in full screen, to the man who lied to everyone and thought no one would notice. His face turned white. "Turn it off," he shouted. No one moved. 1 woman clapped. Another laughed. I walked up to him. "Calm. Julian, this is Mira. You know, your very alive wife. And these are all the women you manipulated using her ghost." He looked around the room like it was caving in. "You set me up." "No," I said. "You wrote the script. We just read it out loud." He left before the slideshow ended. Walked right into the elevator with his tie half undone and silence chasing him down the hallway. Mira poured us all a drink. "To resurrection," she said. I raised my glass. To closure. And for the first time in months, I slept like someone who didn't need answers anymore. Just the truth. And now, everyone had it. He didn't reach out right away. Not for 3 days. I thought he might disappear. Pull the same vanishing act he used on the others. But no, Julian didn't vanish. He unraveled. First came the email. Subject. "Please. Just talk to me." I didn't reply. Then came the texts. "I didn't mean for it to go that far. You misunderstood everything. You and Mira set me up. That's cruel." Cruel? The man who used a dead wife's story to get laid was calling me cruel. He sent flowers. Left a note. "You're the only one who ever really saw me." I tossed them in the trash. He tried Mira too. Sent her a 6-paragraph letter. Said he missed her cooking. Said he'd gotten lost. She forwarded it to me with the caption, "He still thinks this is a redemption arc." Word got around fast. A few of the women at the gala posted anonymous videos. Ever dated a man who played grief like a game? Ever been told his wife died only to meet her at a party? Views climbed. People speculated. His name trended on a few niche forums. He changed his number. Went private online. I didn't gloat. Didn't post. Didn't even tell the story myself. Because this wasn't about shaming him. It was about freeing me. And once I was free, he became irrelevant. Mira and I stayed in touch. Not besties. Just two women who made it out of the same lie. We text sometimes. Funny memes. Screenshots of weird messages from men. We call it Ghost Club. A little joke. For the women who were haunted by someone still living. One night, I got a text from her. A picture of Julian. Sitting alone at a cafe. Wearing that same navy suit. "He looks like a man who finally met the mirror," she wrote. I looked at the photo for a long time. And then I deleted it. Not because I forgave him. But because I didn't need to carry him anymore. That was his weight. His story. His consequence. And mine was just beginning. I used to wonder how people live with themselves. How someone could lie like that, sleep next to you, cry in your arms, talk about grief like it was sacred, and know they were selling fiction the whole time. But I've stopped wondering. Because it doesn't matter anymore. I'm not here to psychoanalyze the broken pieces in someone else. I'm here to pick up mine. And turn them into something solid. Something unshakable. Since Julian, I've learned how to tell the difference between vulnerability and manipulation. Between grief that's real. And grief that's convenient. I don't romanticize sadness anymore. I don't fall in love with damaged men, hoping I can be the reason they heal. I love people who are already building something healthy. Even if it's still in progress. I've also stopped apologizing for asking questions. For saying, that doesn't sit right with me. For trusting my gut, even when no one else sees the red flag. Because now I know, the red flags don't wave. They whisper. And I listen the first time. I wrote about what happened. Not to shame him. Not to get attention. But to offer something I didn't have when it happened to me. Language. A map. A voice that said, "You're not crazy. You're not overreacting. You're not the villain for walking away from something that felt hollow." The responses poured in. Women. Men. People who said, "I didn't know someone else went through this too." And suddenly the story wasn't just mine. It was ours. And I wasn't just the girl who got lied to. I was the girl who stood in the fire. And walked out carrying the matches. These days I still pass by the bookstore sometimes. The one where it all began. And I smile. Not because of what happened there. But because I'm still standing. Still soft. Still open. Still capable of love. But no longer willing to romanticize pain. And if I could say one thing to the next woman he tries to charm with tragedy, I'd say this. Don't be the candle. Be the fire alarm. Call it out. Walk away. And don't look back.
Thanks so much for watching. If you love a good revenge story, or if you've ever dreamed of getting the last word without saying much at all, you're in the right place. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new savage ending. Because around here, karma always hits different.